Hey guys, welcome back. We got another 32 Ford on the bench. I was getting ready to put some primer on it, but I thought I'd make a quick video just to talk about it before it got covered up in paint, because it's kind of a neat deal. It's a Phaeton, 32 Phaeton, but it's a mashup of an AMT and a Revell body. First of all, the top, I've been doing a lot of work on the top, okay? And I wanted to show it to you. So I saw there's a 32 Phaeton that was in the St. Louis area years ago, and Roger Bell owned it, and it had this kind of sweeping top back here, and so I added that filler piece. And then this is the kit AMT rear window right here. I didn't really like that, so I filled it and put in a rear window from the Monogram 34 Ford Cabriolet. And I thought that was just a lot nicer, sleeker. It's a little bit more square, a little bit more cartoonish. And this looks a little bit more narrow, a little bit more chopped. I also added the seams back with some styrene rod and added a kind of a seam there on the edge with it. So I wanted to show you that before I put it in primer. This is, like I said, a Revell. My chair is really squeaky. Sorry about that. This is a Revell 32 Roadster. This kit, as a matter of fact. And, well, or actually this kit too will work. I'm gonna change my chair. Oh, hold on. And we're back with a less squeaky chair. So, as I said, this is a mashup between a Revell and an AMT. And the reason I did not build the AMT is because I'm just not a fan of the old AMT 32 Fords. They have a lot of proportion problems, proportion issues. I've seen guys really do justice to them and make some pretty killer builds out of them, but I'm not interested in it. The Revells are a lot better. So what I've done is I've taken the front half of the Revell with the cowl that is nicer and mated it to the AMT back half of the Phaeton. You can see a seam right here. That's because the AMT body runs uphill right here. And so as it started to run uphill, I had to cut that and open it up to fit to the Revell body and then fill it in. As you can see right there, it's filled in. So yeah, I wanted to build a Revell-based 32 Phaeton. A little bit better angle here. So there's no interior, and in the interior tub that came in the AMT kit just doesn't work. And there are AMT kits floating around out there that have the incorrect interior tub in, as a matter of fact. So you got to be watchful for that. So what this is I was just going to make a tonneau cover and forget about it, but I thought, no, I can try to make an interior. So let me take this apart a little bit. Let's show you. The windshield is the chopped windshield from the most recent release, and the firewall from the most recent release of the 32 Roadster, the Duval windshield. So that's a stock style firewall, chopped windshield. That's where you can get those. This is a Roadster door panels and seat. This is the back end of a second body. So I have a second body. I cut out this part right here and put it in here. Now, it's not wide enough to connect to the body because you can see the body flares out right here and is actually wider here than it is back here. But when I put the door panels in, then I could get that piece to connect. So while not accurate, it's close, because real 32 Phaetons had a steel back to the front seat that was part of the structure of the body, so it wasn't all flimsy. This is structural. So I wanted to recreate that. The AMT 32 Phaeton doesn't have this at all. It's actually just two bucket seats, kind of like a sedan. So that's wrong. So I wanted to be a little bit accurate. So I had a second body, and I filed off the belt line, and then it fit as long as the door panels were in there. Then I decided to, okay, I might as well make some rear door panels. So I had a second Roadster interior in the parts box, and I filed that Roadster seat to fit. The door panels aren't great. As you can see, there's some gaps and things like that. The bottom parts are from the 32 sedan kits, and then these top parts are from other Roadster kits. And I did put in a piece with a door handle, and that stops right there where the door crack is. So I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and fill this all and make new door cracks here, or just forget about it, because I want to glue the top on. I just didn't want, you know, to look in there and see nothing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go to that all that detail, but and I got a piece of floor that goes back here that I'm going to, you know, put that in and make that all nice too. So I got an extra piece of floor to go down there, because the Roadster interior tub only went about halfway back, so I hacked off the door panels, and then started fabricating all that stuff. So I think it looks pretty good. It's better than I thought it was going to be, and you know, I was just going to put a tonneau cover over the back, so now it's kind of a complete interior, so that's pretty good. I did clean up the frame a little bit. These Revell 32s have a lot of dimples in the frame, so I've sanded them flat. Also, this reveal is very, very pronounced. I knocked that down a bunch because it's a reveal, not a ledge. So that makes your 32s look a little bit better if you knock that reveal down. I also just slightly shortened these front frame horns. They're just a little bit too long. Also, where's the grill? Where did it go? The other thing about these 32s is the grill, when you put it in, it really sits too proud. Like, it sits a little bit like that. The hood is almost, if not running uphill. So I've done this in every 32 I've built from Revell, is to knock down the top of the cross member quite a bit. And that way you get, and then you'll have to sand the sides of the grill shell too. But you get that grill down to where the hood is no longer running uphill. And let's see if I can get it on. Let's just put a little tape on there. It's gonna work. It's got it to where the grill is now more level with the cowl, and the hood's not running uphill. And this hood was actually sitting down on the radiator, so I've got a little just piece of sprue on the bottom of this hood that props it up so it's even with the hood. It's just a couple things. This Revell 32 is a nice kit, but just a couple things that I've done and I do when I build a Revell 32 just to make it a little bit nicer. These are the front wheels from the 30 Ford Woody that I just built for the Naked Group build. It comes with these wires, and these are the fronts. Or these are the fronts. The rears are very deeply dished, but they're 1/24 scale, and so they look really good. So I think I'm gonna go with wires on this. These are the wires from the AMT 34 Ford pickup for the front. These are some parts box tires, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work because they're a little loosey-goosey in there. I can see a gap right there, but they're really small. They're really good front tires, so I'm hoping I can figure something out with that. When I lower these 32s, I just really grind the heck out of the spring. And, you know, that's honestly how we lower them in real life. An early Ford, you just kind of take and you can put in and remove leaves from the front spring until you get the ride height that you like, or the ride that you like, along with your dropped axles. So that's a kit item that's ready to go. Haven't got the front axles or front wheels mounted yet. Gonna use the Buick brake drums, fin brake drums from the Revell Model A kit. Got some of those in stock. But the coolest thing by far is this engine. Check this engine out. That is a wired and plumbed Black Widow 57 Chevy, fuel injected at 283. Look, dipstick and dipstick tube. Correct decals on the oil filter and on the generator. Coil wire. Very cool. So let me tell you about this engine. I was just browsing on eBay one day, and there was a Black Widow 57 Chevy kit from Revell that was partially built with very, very low bids. I'm like $10 or something like that. I'm like, well, that's a pretty cool kit with a lot of cool parts. So let me click on that. I started to scroll through the pictures, and the body was painted kind of mediocre. I was like, okay. But then the very next picture was this. I could see in the chassis, and I zoomed in, and I was like, whoa. The rest of the build does not match the level of detail to this engine. And so I bought it immediately. And so it's getting a crate motor. This 32 is getting a crate motor. Somebody else built this engine. I have never in the history of my life plumbed an engine. I don't know if, I mean, maybe I'll try. That's pretty cool. So it's got a fuel line going from the pump to, I guess, a filter and a regulator, and then to the injection, and then out of the injection into the air intake. I don't know. Looks right to me. But that's a cool little engine. That's going to look really good in there. I've already made a motor mount for it to mount off of the front 57 Chevy mounts. And so it fits right down in there nice and snug. Looks super cool. Still trying to figure out colors for this thing. But yeah, it's gonna be a really neat hot rod. I'd like to take the AMT 32 Victoria as well and somehow match it up to a Revell kit using maybe a 5-window. Let's see. The Victorias have 2-door sedan doors, I believe. So I would need a 2-door sedan kit to do the Victoria probably. Those things are getting spendy. Have you tried to buy a Revell 32 sedan kit lately? Man, for some reason those are kind of pricey. Anyway, there we have the AMT, and I did a video on this months and months ago, but I never got past this part, and I just pulled it off the shelf the other day, or out of a box or wherever it was, and got going on it. But as you can see, there's some of the detail of what I had to do. I had to widen that door and fill it so it would match the 32 Revell body. Oh, by the way, I pretty much had to do a highboy because the fender openings on this body weren't quite matching up very well with the fenders on the Revell 32, and they would have required a lot of work. And so I'm like, I think I like highboys just as much as I like fendered cars, so just to save myself a bunch of work on the rear fenders and the rear opening, we're doing this one as a highboy. She's going to be fenderless. So, by the way, this is just sitting here for inspiration, but I do have a video on this on my channel if you want to see the 32 Ford four-door sedan. This is a Drag City Castings resin body, and I got a full video about this on the channel if you want to see. That's a Revell Parts Pack Cadillac 354. Really cool little rod. Anyway, I'm really liking the profile of the top. I'm gonna probably put the top in color. I'm gonna, just maybe tan or black to see what it looks like, to see which it might dictate what color the body ends up being. Coming back to my first love, hot rods, and 32 Fords especially. So take care. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I love when you guys comment. I really do appreciate all the comments. Take care.